behind it. Light traffic right now westbound on the freeway, not a whole lot of heavy traffic to speak of. At least 3 units in that pursuit right now as the airship continues to track it with the night sunlight. And the driver staying in that same lane here, not really trying to get around other vehicles or just basically maintaining the speed. He's sped up a little bit here now, about 73 miles an hour as you see on our speedometer, but so far not driving too erratic.
Yeah, not driving too erratic. However, again, this is a possible DUI suspect, and then another another issue that occurred as well, and part of the felony list here that he's going to rack up some charges is the assault with a deadly weapon by hitting his car to the Chino PD's police cruiser. So we've got that, felony evading. The list goes on, and it's probably going to get a lot longer if this goes longer. But at this moment, he seems to be maintaining the speeds, as you said, Gil, and not driving too erratically, considering what we would expect from a possible DUI
Welcome,
suspect.
guys. Yo.
Yeah, absolutely. Maintaining the speed here, somewhere between 75 and down to as low as 60 that we saw it here. Now, we are encountering a bit of a problem here. The Dodger game's on right now, so we have a temporary flight restriction that the driver's going into right now. So we won't be able to stay directly over it, but we'll keep an eye on it from a long distance. If it continues here on the 60 westbound into the towards the downtown LA area,
that's not
if he
great.
Decides to go
My
south,
stupid Stream Deck is not working.
On the 710, then that'll definitely help us. But we'll see what happens. He's going into that transition here, and you see that gore point. So we'll see which direction the driver decides to take. Maybe he'll go south, and that'll help us to stay directly over it. And it looks like at this point, if he stays in that lane, I believe it's going to go south.
So he's clearly on a transition road to 710, and yeah, it looks as though off he goes to the southbound 710 away from the flight restriction imposed by the Dodger game there. So southbound CHP in pursuit again, this out of the Chino area, westbound on the 60, largely at freeway speeds. Not a lot of erratic driving that we've seen that we know of. Again, the suspect wanted not only for possible DUI, but for ramming his vehicle into a Chino PD patrol car.
Okay.
And again, now southbound on the 710 freeway. And look, you're moving at 60, 70 miles an hour.
So many pursuits. I know, it just keeps happening.
Really what you'd hope for, ultimately, you want him to stop. But, you know, if the suspect's going to run, you want it done at this pace.
Absolutely. He looked like he's getting into some traffic here. I can't tell what it is. It's on my pilot side, so I really can't see out that side. It looks like just maybe some slower trucks that are in the way there.
J-Boogie, welcome.
Now it's going to be
all right, we're going to run a prediction
driver's going to come
on Twitch.
So let's see what the driver decides to do. He's going to use the shoulder. It looks like he might. And he's going to go all the way across lanes and try to maybe transition here. We'll see.
Okay, it's up.
Onto
DJ Haas, welcome.
Maybe not, but we'll see.
It's going well for me here.
We have some heavier traffic here as we approach the 5, and it looks like he's going to try to weave in and out of that traffic.
Yeah, he's going to try and
assault with a
weave
deadly
in and out
weapon
of that.
on
If
a
he's
police
wanted
officer,
for,
apparently.
You know, if this is a suspected DUI suspect, you know, this means a lot of trouble for those people on the road as well. And, you know, that's very worrisome when you have that kind of danger out there with this guy that's, you know, not only taking his own life in his hands here by driving.
Are the police right behind him or not?
But, you know, everybody else around him.
Looks like they are.
So, you know, even though he's at these speeds, you know, he's still suspected of being under the influence while driving.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it looks like he's transitioned already now past the 5 freeway. So it's southbound 710.
And Whimsical, what's
looking
up?
Looking up ahead out the window, it looks like traffic's going to be pretty light on the southbound
Everyone,
side
put your
of the
channel
710.
points.
So,
will this chase last 15 minutes?
Speed, 67
if you're on
miles an
YouTube,
hour,
hit the thumbs up.
On his tail, the airship's still overhead, and it'll continue on this way until they
1,
either
2,
try to get
3
a spike
cops.
strip if it tries to exit the freeway, or possibly a pit maneuver when the car slows down.
Again, the want DUI.
He's going
and
over
in the
90?
process,
Really?
Chino PD, they were trying to pull this guy over, and he, according to law enforcement, rammed his vehicle into a Chino PD patrol car. So clearly exacerbating the situation, making things much worse for himself. And in the process, CHP has taken over, this largely on freeways, on the 60 freeway.
Kind of car, I'm not sure what this car is.
All the way to the 710 southbound. And you never know where this might go, all the way into Long Beach. Possibly he gets off the freeway. Don't know. At this point, CHP, again, behind this suspect, and they're tracking it, law enforcement is as well from the air. So it's going to be a challenge for the suspect to do much of anything. There you see CHP coming into frame, and relatively light traffic, as you would expect, at 10:30 on a Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely, Micah and Sherry. You see the driver there. Now see how dark the freeway is here. This is actually a pretty good freeway for the CHP to try to do a spike strip if they're able to, if the traffic's light enough, and it pretty much is. I mean, there's, I would say, light traffic. There's quite a few cars on the southbound 710 here, but there might be an opportunity for the CHP to try to put a spike strip out, especially if he's in the shoulder lanes like this. That would be enough room to do it, but it's a definitely tricky situation, especially since he's known to have rammed another police agency. So that could be problematic for the officer's safety.
So we believe that this driver is alone in this car.
Shout out
is
Apollo and Beard.
You know, we haven't heard from the CHP yet as far as the number of people or occupants in the vehicle, so it's unclear. We're hoping to get some light on the vehicle. I'm going to come in tighter. Maybe you guys can see
I'll
brighten
brighten
the picture up a little bit here, and maybe you can see the driver in there or possibly a passenger.
It's one of those RX.
So far, hard to tell.
Really hard to see anything from this angle.
Yeah, that's an RX,
other than possibly a make and model, a Lexus SUV, crossover SUV. That's moving, you know, largely at freeway speeds. We've seen 65, 70, 75 miles an hour as the CHP continues behind this suspect. Again, the want DUI and also assault with a deadly weapon once the suspect, according to law enforcement, rammed the vehicle into a Chino PD patrol car, just making the situation worse, and now trying to run law enforcement, which is a difficult gambit when you've got empty freeways and an endless amount of resources within the CHP, and of course tracking from the air as well. It's going to make it particularly challenging for the suspect. Again, don't know how many people may be in the car. From what we could tell, that angle was inconclusive, but it may well be the driver is the lone occupant in this one, but it's just hard to say.
Yeah, when we were zoomed in a little bit more, it looked like there could be possibly somebody there in the passenger seat, or maybe it's just, you know.
Okay, got my.
Can you see that one?
Yeah, there's something light colored.
Yeah, but maybe that just could be something else. Who knows? You know, anyway, you hope that at least he's alone in there, because it could be terrifying as the passenger or even the suspect's, you know, accomplice, whatever. You know, I mean, being chased by 3 CHP officers. You've got the San Bernardino County Sheriff's helicopter overhead.
Lee, what's up?
You've got the news media overhead, and all eyes are on this car and waiting to see what the next move is going to be.
Yin Yang, what's up? He rammed the car into a police car,
you know,
but it looks spotless.
Right. It's a possibility, as Gil was saying, that the next kind of
Clear Jogger, that is a Lexus.
Law enforcement could take in order to try and stop this would be a spike strip coming from the shoulder there. That is something that we could see coming up here on the 710 as the suspect makes his way south, and you know, but time is on the side of the CHP. You know,
time always on the side of the CHP,
has, or how much electric charge it has. You know. Eventually, it's going to run out.
That's on our bingo card.
The CHP, you know, they
out
trade
of gas, out of electricity, whatever.
These things tend to go long, and they will always have enough fuel and eyes on this suspect as need be.
Still don't have that airship working.
I can tell you that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, possibly exiting here, but I can tell you that our Simon Desk Elizabeth at the desk was saying that she heard on the scanner that CHP was talking about there being just the solo occupant, the driver, in the vehicle. So we'll see what the driver does here as he's exiting the freeway, and we'll stand by for direction here. I believe this is going to be an off-ramp. Yep. He's got
Charles, what's up, man? You have no caps lock on today. What's going on?
This is going to be in Linwood now, so we'll see what happens here with the Sheriff's Department if the LA County
This
Sheriff
doesn't look good.
get involved with this pursuit.
It's going
now.
very
It's coming
slow.
into Linwood.
They might try a pit move.
Yep, CHP still behind this, and now on surface streets, and you know, anybody's guess where this might end up. In the Linwood area now, potentially. The suspect is familiar with the area. We've seen it many times in the past. They retreat to areas they're familiar with. Don't know that to be the case here. This again coming out of the Chino area.
Is he going to stop? Kind of, almost.
To the 710 south. And now we're on surface streets in Linwood as the CHP continues on the ground here. And Gil, the longer it goes on surface streets,
I mean, I don't see why not.
For municipalities, local jurisdictions to get involved.
How much time do we have? We have about 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes.
Absolutely. I'm getting some information right now.
Your information is chalked.
You just cut out, Gil.
The officers.
All right, and now
Gil,
you're back.
come back.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, this is on
we're
Fox as
getting
well.
From our Simon Desk that
but
all
somehow
officers that were involved in
way
that ramming of the vehicle are okay. That's good news. So as the vehicle approaches this intersection, he's going to make a left turn here, Mike, and we'll hold our spot here. You can see CHP still in the pursuit. And we're going into a neighborhood here. This is Harris Avenue and Woodlawn in Linwood. So this might be a familiar area for the driver. Got off that freeway intentionally. It seemed like he...
Okay, we might have to switch.
Yeah, all of this movement appears intentional, as best you can tell by the behavior of the driver. It's not erratic driving. It looks as though...
Good, that's staying with what you would hope would be a safe speed. But again, the original want for this driver was DUI. So, you know, your judgment as well as your driving ability could be impaired.
And when we say DUI, Tim, people assume that is alcohol.
El Homer, I don't know, but you could go and look at my VODs. I think my Twitch one would be better. I think I missed one chase on YouTube.
You know, infected this person in a way, and also to you have to always think to a medical condition.
ABC has better view. All right, thank you.
Now, a diabetic in a diabetic state will act just like somebody who is intoxicated with alcohol. And you have to be really careful on things like that, and they will drive just like that. But this person here, as you can see, maintaining the lanes really well. They're making the turns.
Looks like they're panned out pretty far
and
right at the
there's
moment.
not any jerkiness to the driving or anything of that sort. But CHP is just going to, you know, wait and see what this driver is going to do. And yes, they'll can do the pit maneuver. They can do the spike strips at these speeds.
Compton now
in the toolbox that they can use. But right now, there just seems like they're going to stay behind it, follow it till it comes to an end, or the driver decides just to pull over and stop. But there may be an opportunity here. If
we get a bingo soon, man. It's been forever. I don't know.
CHP feels comfortable with a pit.
I haven't got a bingo in so long.
Well, that's through a red light right there, so the driver is not following all the traffic laws.
Yeah, and when he says a pit maneuver, that means a pursuit intervention technique,
which
is typically done like between 30, 50 miles an hour.
This guy giving schooling us on
drive up and basically
police chase
spin the car from the side to try to stop it from moving forward. And intervene in that pursuit and bring it to an end. Sometimes they work, they don't always work. They usually try to do that in an area where there isn't a lot of other stuff around, including cars, certainly people, that could potentially get hit. So is there an open area where they can move in and do that and try to bring this thing to an end, or do they sort of let it go? And I'm curious, Tim, their thought process, is law enforcement less aggressive if the suspect is less aggressive?
It all depends. It all depends on what's going on with the suspect. What we don't know is what intelligence they have on the driver. They may know who this driver is, and the car may be registered in this area, and at this point they're playing the card.
DJ, I'm not sure. I think NBC
just drive home and pull into their driveway. We've seen that
still
multiple
doesn't
times.
have this.
So they have a lot more information than we do here in the media. So they're going to work with that information. Now,
would be
as
nice,
far as when a pit maneuver is done, if the officer, as the lead car, has been
I'm
authorized
not seeing them
to
having
do
it on
pit,
their website.
that officer will make the determination when that pit is done. He'll radio to the 2 cars behind him.
Yeah, I miss Eliana. Where's she at?
I'm going to take him at the next intersection, or I'm going to do.
And Tim, let me just interject and say
1, 2,
that
3,
was sort of an interesting time period, I guess.
There we go.
Whoa,
okay.
At least
they took the bumper off. Oh, they got him.
Just as you called it. And now the driver's moving backwards.
Will it be enough to disable the driver completely?
It looks like it did.
Right, is the driver done?
Disable the car. Yeah, hopefully
looks like it disabled the car.
Jam the side and the front to keep him from going away. Because what normally happens on his vehicle, if the computer determines that the car is going backward in drive, normally it will shut off the fuel and turn off the engine. It's a safety feature that most cars have now. So right now they're going to have to wait and see what goes on here. Now,
how do you turn it back on?
Restart that car with ease and drive out of this. That's why I was saying they should have a jam car maybe a little bit closer in there. So
I think that happened after or before the 15-minute mark. Can you do a replay?
Cooperates, gives up, gets out of the car.
Hand out of the
window. Was that 15 minutes before or after? It was like right at it's 16 minutes now. That happened over a minute ago?
At this point, the next step is to see the driver actually
I wasn't paying
come
attention.
out of the car. And again, I just want to remind the people, if you're just tuning
in to
this police pursuit, what looks to be the end of the police pursuit, this suspect, the driver in this vehicle, is accused of hitting a police officer before taking off on this pursuit. The fact that
45 seconds ago,
the car is now stopped thanks to
it was like
15
a
law enforcement car, CHP car. That has put us in this place right now, South Atlantic Avenue and East Rosecrans in Compton.
Right.
So we're watching to see whether the driver.
I think we got it.
I
think it was. I don't know.
Get out of the car.
Am I gonna have to pull up my own VOD?
Are behind their doors.
Yeah, because
I can't scam anybody.
Because of what this person has already accused of doing. I mean, we didn't see that part ourselves with the chopper. If they've already rammed a police officer with the car, they have to worry about the idea that he could just keep driving and drive right into their car right now too. It's tough to get a good sense in that car. It looks like it's probably one driver and not a passenger, but hard to tell exactly from this situation.
It looked like there was something, at least something on the passenger side, but perhaps not a person. Meantime, after seeing the one hand come out of the vehicle,
this is crazy, but it literally happened 5 seconds before.
To get out and surrender.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Do you see all those CHP officers
literally
out with their guns drawn?
5 seconds.
I mean, there's nothing, Tim, to stop this guy from turning the car on, putting the car in reverse, spinning around, and keeping going, right? I mean, there's nobody.
Unless the car's disabled somehow. I mean, mechanically disabled.
Well, more likely, unless it has the emergency shut off.
Yeah, I think they actually executed the pit, which would have been the end of it right before the 15.
Normally, it's just
like
the computer
seconds.
shuts off the engine. Now, if you put it into park, turn off the key, turn it back on, it will start.
Show the VOD on screen. I will in a minute.
Nowadays have
I will.
A system
we'll
that
actually run
turns
it back.
off the pump.
It's hard to tell.
To come to the engine, so if it's that, it has to be.
It's hard to tell because Twitch doesn't really show.
If they talk to the person's propensity from what.
But when I go back to 1459, the car is still moving, but it's moving backwards.
Bring in
somebody
get a little bit closer to
the car is still moving, but it's moving backwards.
Turn and go the other way.
So I think I don't know how to call that one.
CHP
right?
Hold out the ballistic shield, and they're going to go up in their conga line, as we call it, and work their way up. But you're hanging yourself out pretty much. That's what I call it.
All right, we'll talk about it in a minute. Moving means going, I guess.
Yes, exactly. You put your hand on the man in front of you.
Here they go.
Okay, they're going to go get him.
So the first officer has the shield in front of him, but you have two other officers with their gun drawn right behind, and then other officers farther behind.
Yeah, so this is the dangerous time now.
Just let him
in. That door.
He won't unlock the door.
But he does have his hands up.
They're gonna break your window, man.
And this is
dude.
tense moments here.
Boom.
Okay, so now they're done. They're breaking
so intense.
Window. You can imagine the glass is shattering at this potential suspect too. They're not letting this happen, and this suspect has to know they are not
playing. Oh, my God.
So now doors open. I'm guessing they're going to pull this guy. He's out. Is that the airbag? It's hard to tell if the airbag deployed during that whole thing.
It's possible.
And they are not playing.
That was so intense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 or 5 on them.
Tim, that is a very different type of conga line than what I think of. With
that was
Gloria
so
Stefan,
intense.
Miami Sound Machine.
All right.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying that little tool that shatters it, but instead he had to come in with a crowbar and just beat the hell out of the window.
Now under arrest. Yeah,
right, they didn't need Bearcats. They just went and got the guy out.
Airbag or not, and it doesn't look like there's anybody else in the car as far as they know. But they're going to check all the
tall
compartments and make sure there's nobody else in there. Tim,
it was not a stolen car. I believe that's his car.
Officer, I know
that's a nice car. To just have let them just ruin your
in going after that kind of person, right?
Well, you're on high alert when you go up there. My prior law enforcement experience and my feelings were very high there when they were hanging themselves out there to drive between the police cars and the suspect vehicle. You're in really no man's land when you walk out. And when I talk about the conga line, you have each officer puts their hand on the officer in front of him, and you go out in a straight line.
And that's what we saw.
What it was called.
You doubt it's his car?
There,
I kind of do too, but they didn't say it was stolen.
Now you have 5 or 6 officers standing out in the open, and like we were talking, had this driver decided to back away or drive away, it could have been a completely different scenario. But hopefully the CHP had a lot of information on this driver. Maybe they were in
his car, DUI, and a hit and run from a cop car.
This person was in and felt safe to walk up there and approach the car when he still had control of the vehicle. So, yeah, not your standard suspect in custody, but luckily
ALS, welcome.
At the end, and everybody's going to go home safe tonight.
Police Specialist Tim Lynn, thank you very much for your help on this one. The pursuit has come to an end. Suspect in custody.
Now to sports with Kyle Kraska.
Okay, that was easy. Okay, done. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the VOD. All right, here we go, right? So, right here, chase is over, okay? F? Wait, what happened? Check? Hello? Are we back? Back? It froze. Your vid is back, but not the browser? Oh. Wait. Okay. No, but this isn't playing. Okay, I had it frozen. Are we good? You're still live on YouTube. Okay. Your VOD effed. No, I froze it. I stopped it. Hold on. Okay. Anyway. Here we are. This is at 15. All right, this is at 15. Okay. Yeah, I have it paused. All right, at 15 minutes, right here, this is it. I believe the chase is over at this point. But I mean, what are we gonna call it? I think it's a no. If I have to call it, I think it's a no. The chase did not last 15 minutes. Still a chance, right? But like there, I guess so. But now in hindsight, right now that we know how it ends, it's over. This is the moment when it's over, right? Replay. Okay, so here we are. You can see down in the left-hand corner. I don't know. You guys probably can't see it, actually. Hold on. Let me remove this. Now you should be able to see it, okay? Down in the left-hand corner. There was no guarantee. We didn't know, but now we do. Okay, all right. So this is 1450. You can see it down here in the left-hand corner. Okay. So the pit is now, it's completed now. Okay. This is 1457. Sorry, 20 seconds too late on my stream. I suppose. That's my bad. But you started the prediction many minutes late. I mean, I always do. That's a yes? I don't. We're splitting hairs here. I think it's over. What second did the car completely stop? Okay. When the car completely stops, we are well over 15 minutes. We are at... All right, I think that might be a better way to do it. When the car completely stops, which is right now, and that's at 15 minutes, 10 seconds. All right, Yin Yang says he's not invested, but I think it should be when the chase is over. Well, that's what I'm saying, Yin Yang. It's when the chase is over, but when is the chase over in this situation? Right? Shinji, welcome. We're trying to figure out this. The car is in motion, right? The car is still in motion. So I think he's still technically being pursued. Yeah, all right. I think it's got to be when... All right, ALS says it's the time when the car stopped, when the car completely stops. Okay, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Now that I think about it, I think that this is a yes. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. Car stopped moving at 1510. Okay. Nobody who has voted no is stepping in to argue. I see that nobody with the 2 next to their name has said anything. Charles, no, it's the way that we do it is over when the car's done. So they're pursuing them until the car stops. Because we could have standoffs for hours. Shinji and Charles both think it stops when the suspect's in custody, but the way we do it here is it's over when the car stops, when the chase is over. They're no longer chasing, they're just standing there doing a standoff at that point. No more chase. Okay. Let's go with yes. All right, I got to get my thing back up here. Where is my... Okay, hold on. Right. Will the stream last 30 minutes? The replay has been longer than the actual thing. We're lagging again? Really? I stopped the video. Am I lagging? I don't know what's going on, but we're going to say yes. Okay. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Just a minute. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that is. I'll look into that here in a second. Maybe my internet's messed up or something. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Fix the HDMI cable exactly, Nest. I'm going to order a new one on Amazon. Okay. Hey, Rin. Hey, Nest. We've done the replay. We consulted with the replay center in Secaucus, and we decided that it was after 15 minutes that the chase ended. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. If I go live again, it's a chase, but it's pretty unlikely at this point. Yeah, and we set a good rule for the future. I agree. Now we have it set. When the car stops moving, do you keep the timeout? Yes. Okay. But yeah, put that shit in the rule book. Okay. Now we know. That's it. Okay. Can you do it like the referee? After review, we have determined that the car stopped after the clock hit 15 minutes. As a result, the prediction is a yes. And the people who selected yes will keep their timeout. 2 shots for the home team. I don't know. Okay, I did my best.